Hello, I am Professor Ching Lana Luo. I am a landscape architect and a professor at OSU. I teach students how to design outdoor spaces, including parks, gardens, urban plazas, and many other types of sites. Today, you are going to join me on a very exciting journey to learn how to use a computer technology to design a small site structure, a birdhouse.
The technology is called SketchUp. It is a three-dimensional modeling software. It can be used to create a building, a room, a piece of furniture, or even a very small piece of machinery screwhead. Currently, it is mostly used by professional designers, such as architects, interior designers, and landscape architects. But I believe it should be used by anyone who wants to create and design an object, even kids. You will follow me step by step throughout this curriculum. Then, after you have learned the skills, you can design your own objects, including bird houses or planters or tree houses, etc. Then you can even invite your parents to build it together with drills and drivers according to your SketchUp design. For your information, SketchUp has several categories of plans in terms of pricing. There is a free web-based version, which is the one that we will use in this workshop. Now, the free web-based version is called SketchUp for Web. It is a type of software which doesn't need to be installed on your computer, but it can be used directly in a web browser instead. The best way to access SketchUp for Web is to Google it. When you find the link, click into it. Then click on Start Modeling. It will ask you to sign in. The best way to do so is to sign in with a Gmail address. That's what I'm doing here. Once you are in, you can click on Create New button or the Open button to get into a file. Right now, I am asking you to do the letter, as I will give you a demo file called birdhousedemoexample.skp for you to open and work on it for this lesson. Now, you will orient it to the file location, select, and open it. Voila! Now you are in the SketchUp file, which you will continue to work on. Let's create a wall first, the front wall of this birdhouse. There is a hole. We're going to ignore the hole for now. And the wall's dimension is 5.5 inch wide, 9 inch tall, and the thickness of the wall is 0.71 inches. If you are interested in building this birdhouse after this workshop, you can refer to this inexpensive natural cedar fence board listed at Lowe's.com. Now let's construct the front wall without the hole. The first tool you're going to use is a rectangle. Click on rectangle here. Choose the first one from the pop-up menu. And you are going to click on a spot, anywhere that is blank on your screen. Click and drag it out. It's going to look like something like this. Don't do the second click yet. Just leave the cursor there. And you're going to type some numbers. First, you're going to type the dimension of this board along the red axis. That is 5.5 inch. So you type 5.5. And then you're going to type in comma. And then type the thickness of the board, which is 0.71 inches. Now all the numbers are in. Hit enter on your keyboard. And you get a shape like this. This is really the bottom shape of this front wall geometry. So next thing you need to, it's still flat. Next thing you need to do is to give it a height. And we know that the height is 9 inches tall. And the next tool you're going to use is push pull tool right here. Click on it, the first one. Now, if you hover your cursor on this shape, you will see a dotted surface. So you are going to click on it, click once, and then pull up. So how do you get 9 inches very accurately? You are going to type in 9. So again, on your keyboard, type 9. Look at my lower right corner of the screen again. 9 is typed in, and then hit enter. Now you get exactly the same dimension as I have in the birdhouse. The width is 5.5 inch, the height is 9 inches. So now you have the front wall. So one thing you need to pay attention is that every time you create an object, you need to make it a component. Components making is very important in SketchUp. It has many benefits. And later on, we will find a chance to talk about this. But right now, just remember it. You need to create a component every time you create a geometry, you create an object. Okay, how to make a component. Click on this select tool right here, and then draw a box around this front wall. Now it looks like this. Everything is selected. Now right click on anywhere on this object and click on make component. And usually I would just let the software give me the default names. I don't change anything else right now. Just click on OK. Once you're done, see all those dots are gone. If you select it again, it only highlights all the edges of the objects. Okay, so that means it's a component. Now let's create the back wall, this orange wall. The dimension of it is a 5.5 inch wide, the same as the front wall, and the height is 1 feet and 3 inches, which is 15 inches total. So if you have mastered how to create a wall, you could do it by yourself. If you haven't, you want to follow along, feel free. Now let's work on the side walls. And the side walls are 90 degrees rotated from the position of the front and the back walls. As you can see here, I orbited to the opposite side of the birdhouse so that I can see the other side wall, which is identical to the first side wall we have created. This red-green symbol tool is called Orbit. The button is located here. Now click on the Orbit button. Then left click and hold down the click on the screen. Then you can move your cursor left and right in order to see the left and right sides of the objects. Or you can go up and down in order to see the top and the bottom sides of the objects. Now let's look at the pan tool. The icon is a hand. In pan tool, still left click and hold. Then you can move your cursor left and right. You will actually move the objects to a different location on your screen. You can do up and down or diagonally. But unlike orbit tool, you can't rotate orientation and won't really see the other sides of the object. Orbit tool though allows you to walk around the objects and to see the different sides. Now let's move the side wall right next to the front wall as positioned in the original design. You are going to use a select tool, select the side wall, and then click on the move tool, the first one. And the goal is to move this right behind this first wall, right at this corner, the front wall at that corner. So you're going to, if you look at the prompt at the bottom of the screen, it says pick 2 points to move. So the first point I'm going to pick is this corner, okay? Right, if I zoom in, it's right here. And you pick it up, you click on it once and you pick it up, and then you drop it right at this lower back corner of the front wall. Click once again, and now it's moved over there, okay? So if we orbit to the other side, you can see that it's right there, perfect location. Okay, so now we're looking from the back side of the model now. And we know that we need to make a copy of this side wall to the other side. So how to make a copy? You're going to use a selection tool again, select the side wall, and use move again. So while you click on move, you're gonna pick the 2 points again. So pick the first point while you hold on control key from your keyboard, okay? Click once, and then you're going to discover that actually this move tool can be used as a copy tool. And then you're gonna pick this point to snap in to, and click one more time. So now if you look at this birdhouse, you have 2 side walls, okay? Now let's cut a hole at the front wall. The hole is designed to be at 6 inches tall from the center of the hole to the bottom of the wall. Now we will use a tool to draw a reference line. It's the tape measure tool. So click on this tool, tape measure. Then click on anywhere on the bottom edge of the front wall, then pull up. And if you stop for a second, don't click yet. It's going to tell you how far from the bottom line to this dashed line, which is a reference line, invisible reference line. And here, if you type in 6 inch, just type 6 and enter, it's going to put this reference line 6 inch away from the bottom of the wall. That's where our opening will be. So now we're going to draw a circle. But before drawing a circle, we need to remember that this is not a simple object. It is a component. So we need to click into the component to make edit. Okay, click into it, double click, and then now you're in the component box. So you're going to draw a circle first. Use a circle tool here. And find the middle point of the bottom of the wall. And then just don't click yet, pull up until it intersects with your reference line. So this will be your true center of your circle. And click here once, and then drag it out. Drag it out loosely. Don't do the second click. Type in the radius for this circle. And we want to design a hole that is 1.5 inch opening as the diameter. So the radius will be half of 1.5 inch, which will be 0.75 inches. So type in 0.75 inches. Watch the lower right corner. That 0.75 has been typed in, and then hit enter. So that's the size of your opening hole for the front wall. Let's zoom in and look at how to cut the hole through. The tool would be push-pull tool. Click on the tool and hovering over the circle surface, and click once and then start to push through. So if you push in, you will see that it cuts in. It gets deeper and deeper. And if you pull the opposite way, you're actually adding a circular column on top of the surface. Obviously, we want to cut into the wall. And cut how deep we want to cut through. And here is a trick that allows you to just cut through the thickness of the front wall. So you push in, and then you click on the inner edge of this wall until it says on edge here on the screen. Click on it once. Now if you look at this, it's a hole that is through. So you click on the selection tool and click outside the component. Now if you orbit, you actually see through that hole right there. Okay. Okay, let me show you how to add the colors. So you're going to use this materials button over here and select the color you want. Let's say this time I want the side walls to be green color. So click on this green, and the cursor icon is going to turn into a paint bucket icon, and go to the object that you want to paint into green. Click on once and orbit to the other side. Click twice so both sides are green now.